Secret movie details that you will not be able to unsee, Part 3. In the film Baby Driver, this bank robbery scene was supposed to include the Michael Myers mask from Halloween, but the studio couldn't get the rights, so instead they reached out to Mike Myers and asked if they could use his likeness for the masks. He thought it'd be funny, so he said yes. For the movie Interstellar, Christopher Nolan planted 500 acres of corn because he did not want to CGI the farming. After filming, he turned it around and sold the corn and actually made back profit for the budget. In the second Deadpool movie, Wade wears a shirt that says, Olivia and Meredith, best friends per ever. The two cats on the shirt actually belong to Taylor Swift, and the production crew actually had to get permission from her to use their image in the movie. The opening scene of WALL-E shows wind turbines and nuclear plants built on top of trash mounds, which implies humanity didn't convert to clean energy until it was too late. Secret movie details that you will not be able to unsee, Part 2. In Joker, Joaquin Phoenix improvised the iconic dance scene in the bathroom. Originally, Arthur was supposed to look in the mirror and think about his actions, but after hearing some of the composer's music, Phoenix thought that this dance was more appropriate. In Forrest Gump, the girl who refuses to let Forrest sit next to her on the bus is played by Tom Hanks' very own daughter, Elizabeth Hanks. In Monsters, Inc., Boo tries to give Sully a Nemo doll. And you might think, oh, that's a pretty cool throwback to Finding Nemo, but then you realize that Monsters, Inc. was released in 2001, and Finding Nemo was released in 2003. In Free Guy, you can see that there's a bottle of gin with a text that says, subtle product placement. This is actually a bottle of aviation gin, a brand partially owned by Ryan Reynolds. In Despicable Me, here's a flipped Blu-ray styled logo that reads, Gru-Ray. Well, that implies the existence of Gru-Tooth, Gru-Berries, Gru-Waffles. Weirdest world records that will make your skin crawl, Part 5. Fearless Ruan Leong Ming set a record for the heaviest amount of bees on a person, which weighed over 140 pounds and consisted of 637,000 insects. There's an official world record for time traveling, and it's held by cosmonaut Sergei Krikalev. He spent 803 days total in orbit around Earth, and according to Einstein's theory of relativity, this would mean that Sergei effectively has traveled 0.02 seconds forward in time. Jeremy Harper has the record for the largest number ever counted to. He streamed the entire process online, even raising money for charity, until 3 months later, he reached 1 million. Professor Splash, or Darren Taylor, has the record for the highest belly flop. He jumped 36 feet into a 12-inch kiddie pool.
Explaining the backstory to viral videos.
The young lady in this viral video is Victoria Mendoza, who was 22 years old when she attacked her girlfriend of 5 years, 21-year-old Tawny Bird. While driving home from visiting friends, the couple got into an argument over a boy, and Victoria proceeded to pull over on the interstate and stab Tawny 46 times. She then called her sister, Spencer Mendoza, who arrived to find Victoria calmly sitting next to her dead girlfriend. Mendoza was charged with first-degree murder and was sent to the Utah State Prison, where she was allowed visitation rights. But due to social distancing, these visits were virtual on Zoom, which led to a friend of Victoria's recording videos of her that went viral on TikTok. She eventually lost visitation privileges and is currently serving 16 years in prison.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh boy, oh boy.
You don't feel bad about it?
No.
The woman in this video, Cynthia Chedabaka, celebrated her 63rd birthday by murdering her son-in-law, Gioward Eustaquio. Coincidentally, it was also the day of her granddaughter's spelling bee, and when Cynthia got dressed, Gioward allegedly made comments about her appearance, saying she looked quote-unquote ghetto. Cynthia then proceeded to walk to her car, grab her revolver, go to the back patio, and shoot Gioward in the back 12 times, killing him instantly. With her son-in-law's body on the kitchen floor, Cynthia went on with her birthday celebrations, first going to a local cafe for breakfast, then to a casino, and finally to her favorite coffee shop, where she was brought into questioning by police. And what followed is an interrogation that would make anyone's blood curdle.
And we belong together.
The woman in this viral video, Omaima Ari Nelson, is an Egyptian model and nanny who is convicted of murdering her husband, Bill Nelson. She claims that on Thanksgiving Day 1991, Bill had sexually assaulted her in their California apartment. Following this, Omaima stabbed Bill with scissors and beat him violently with a clothes iron. After killing him, she started cutting up his body, removed his head, and removed his fingerprints by boiling his hands. She then took the leftover turkey from Thanksgiving dinner, mixed it in with Bill's body parts, and threw them away in the garbage disposal. Later, Omaima told her psychiatrist that she had cooked her husband's ribs in barbecue sauce and eaten them, and said, quote, "It's so sweet. There's nothing sweeter than my husband's meat." Omaima was convicted of second-degree murder and is now serving 27 years to life in prison.
Explaining the backstory to viral videos.
While this may appear to be a seemingly innocent video of a boy dragging a trash can with a dog barking at it, what may surprise you is that inside of that trash can is the body of the boy's high school math teacher, Colleen Ritzer. And on October 22nd, 2013, she asked one of her students, Philip Chisholm, to talk to her after class. Philip had recently moved from Tennessee, and when Colleen brought this up in conversation, Philip got extremely upset, so she changed the conversation immediately. At around 3 o'clock, Miss Ritzer got up to go use the restroom, and a few minutes later, Philip followed behind her. It was there that he pulled out a box cutter and slit her throat 16 times before raping her. Philip calmly walked out of the bathroom and returned about 10 minutes later wearing a new set of clothes and carrying a trash bin alongside him. Security cameras outside of the school show Philip rolling the bin with her body into the woods. At this point, Colleen is barely alive. Philip dumps her body onto the ground and shoves a tree branch inside of her. He leaves the scene with his teacher's credit card and uses it to buy Taco Bell and go and see a Woody Allen movie. Philip Chisholm was caught later that night and was sentenced to 40 years in prison. Here are some facts that you probably didn't know that one day could save your life. Part 15. Human bites are one of the most dangerous animal bites in the world due to infection rates and the amount of bacteria in our mouth. To stop a bite, brace yourself and push the part of you that's being bitten into their mouth with force so they can't rip into your skin. Palm trees are way heavier than they look, and their branches can randomly fall off without warning. If you're on a sinking ship and you're somehow able to get free, beware. If you're far down enough in the ocean, the water pressure will collapse your lungs. To avoid this, scream all the way to the top. It'll keep the pressure from killing you instantly. Okay, this may sound obvious, but do not eat uncooked slugs or snails. They have parasites that will make you paralyzed and eventually kill you. If you ever get bitten by a wild animal, no matter how it acts, please get a rabies shot. Once the symptoms set in, rabies becomes a death sentence. Serial killer facts that will haunt your nightmares. Part 3. Serial killer Robert Pickton would grind up the bodies of his victims in the same processor he used for his pigs, meaning that town locals regularly consumed human meat. Ted Bundy, one of the most infamous killers of all time, worked at a suicide hotline. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't kill or eat people with tattoos because, as he says, it gave the flesh a weird taste. When serial killer Ed Gein was arrested, police searched his home to find a bag of wilted vaginas, a lampshade made out of a human face, and a half-finished woman suit, made entirely out of human skin. Serial killer Robert Hansen abducted his victims and flew them to an isolated cabin in the Alaskan mountains. He then released them into the forest and hunted them with a knife and rifle.